Welcome back, Rankers. Back from the Gold Coast. Was up there on the weekend for a fantastic conference, the Pro Blogger event. Now, if you are interested in blogging or making a living from blogging, or you're a business that thinks that they should be blogging, next one of these events, try to get along because it was just fantastic. And a lot of magnificent speakers, Trey Ratcliffe, obviously Darren Rouse, and Ed Dale gave a sensational presentation on what he thinks to be the future of content. And he talked about this interesting thing called, it's all about the venue in which we consume content. I really like that concept. So if you want to find out more about that, go and check out Ed Dale's work. Just Google Ed Dale, you'll find him. And actually Google Magcast, you'll find out what he's talking about there too. Some really interesting stuff. But one of the things that came out of it from me, and I was delivering a piece on my usual shtick, my usual SEO stuff up there, and we did what I said we were going to do a couple of weeks ago. I said we were going to rank a phrase within the 1 hour that we had at the session. And of course, the phrase I was targeting, so I wanted to make sure, because I know Darren Rouse, Pro Blogger, is absolutely massive. Google loves him so much that I want to marry him. And I thought it's going to be difficult to, rank for something around such a man who is, well, let's face it, a link pig, as we say in the SEO world. Meaning that he's not a pig, just that everyone wants to link to him because he produces such great content. Anyway, I digress. So the phrase that we were targeting in the session was SEO Presentation PB Event 2013. Hopefully we could rank for that, right? Within the 1 hour that we had. Fortunately, we did. We did have one guy stand up and say, "You're still logged into Google. It's false. You're a nut." Well, he didn't say that, but it was implied. And so, of course, quickly we showed that, look, I'm not, and we went and did the search in Google Incognito. You got your little black hat over here. And that's how you know that, Google will show you results without any other colorization, if you like, of your cookies and everything else. Anyway, so we actually now rank for PB event SEO. We probably did on the day as well. I just didn't check. And, to show you that we did actually rank within that period of time, there's someone here who was at the same conference who wrote a blog post on it, and they copied exactly, which I told people to do on the day. So well done to this blogger. And this blogger is A Dog's Breakfast. And that's the name of the blog. And I'm going to say him. He actually ranked at the same time by the looks of it. So he said Jim has ranked almost instantly with his SEO, blah, blah, blah. Great. And so there you go. That's what we did. But one of the things that came out of that conference for me was, I get people constantly saying to me, "Jim, can I buy you a cup of coffee? Can I just pick your brain? Can I just ask you a few questions? Jim, with my idea and your resources," all that sort of stuff. We've all heard it over the years. And I try to, wherever I can, with this weekly video, give out as much information as I possibly can in the short space of time that we have. And I used to run workshops, SEO workshops, half day, full day, showing people how to do this stuff. Every second person seems to ask me, "What sort of, do you do an SEO course? Can I, do something with you?" And I thought, what would I want to see in an SEO course? My audience traditionally has been, sure, there are a lot of geeks out there, a lot of webmasters, a lot of coders, but traditionally I've tried to gear it at the business person and not try to confuse the bejesus out of them with techno jargon gobbledygook, right? And so for me, the audience has always been about someone who is possibly a business owner or someone who is working in an organisation where they know there's a real business imperative to make this SEO work. And so for me, the top 5 things for an SEO course, and I'd love to hear what yours are. The top 5 things, and I've Googled SEO courses here out of the US, and I've got some really good people there, obviously, like Aaron Wall. I don't know lynda.com. I know they've been around for a while. Bruce Clay, don't know his work. I know he's been around forever. A few of those other ones I don't really know. I know that SEO Moz has got something. But typically, in my experience anyway, they've always been geared towards someone who wants to code or someone who wants to get knee-deep, at least, in the code, if not deeper. So for me, though, if I was to train people who were content creators or business owners, I would start with number one, keyword fundamentals. Get that right. Keyword research. How would you do that? How you go about it? Then once you've got that information, I would want to educate you in Google Webmaster Tools. And within Google Webmaster Tools, the things as a business owner I think you should know about would be things like your search queries. Like if I just bring this over here. So search queries, this is ours. This is the big anomalous spike that didn't really happen. Anyway, Google gets it wrong. And the reason you need to know about your search queries, of course, is so you can see what people are searching for that you might not actually be getting clicks on. And that'll give you some indication where there's some really good keywords you can find there. The other thing I would want to teach people about in here is the Google index. Because quite often I've gone to businesses where they're saying, oh, I can't find us anywhere in Google. And you go to the Google index and Google says, you've got 0 pages in the index, and this is a really quick and easy way for a business owner to understand that. The other thing I would want to show to a business owner as well is sometimes I'll say, I feel my site's a bit slow, and I'd want to show them the crawl stats. I wouldn't want to get into crawl errors and all those sorts of things, but I'd wanted to show them the page load times and, what was, obviously this here was a big spike of a really slow time of 3.2 seconds. Typically we're loading in under a second, which is, where you want to be if the bot's coming out of the US. And they would be the main areas. I don't even think I'd want to talk about HTML improvements or any of those things. So for a business owner, Webmaster Tools would be search queries, the Google and Google index, and really you probably just want to be aware of manual actions if you've had a previous SEO company that you think has done something a bit dodgy. The next area I'd want to educate someone who was a business owner or content creator on is their site structure. How does Google understand their site? How does Google crawl their site? And why that's important for them to understand. And this would take into things like doing, the site check of your website in the Google index and having a look at what Google's seeing about your site and getting a picture of that. Nothing geeky, nothing techy just yet. Just a basic understanding of the health of your site and the sorts of things what do you want to be ranking for, and how you look at that when it comes to how Google sees your site. And then with the site structure itself, how you're producing content. What sort of categories do you have on your site? Those sorts of things. And then the fourth thing I want to say is, what is your editorial rules for publishing content so it gets ranked? Get that sorted. And that would take into things into account, like every time you post a piece of content, it's got to have certain rules about it. Before you post, you have to understand, what am I trying to rank this post for? If that's not important, if it's just generally, okay, that's fine. But if it has a specific keyword purpose, understand what that is. How does that then affect what you do at the URL level, at the page title level, at the H1 level? Does the post have images? If it does have images, how are you going to name those images? And how are you going to use captions and alt tags around those images? Those sorts of things. If it's a really difficult phrase, what are the policies about trying to rank over time for that phrase if it's not something you can rank for really quickly? And how are you going to do that? And then the fifth thing, the final thing, would be, what is your editorial calendar look like? What is your content publishing next 6 months going to be about? How are you structuring that? And a lot of bloggers talked about that at the Pro Blogger Conference, of course, and it's something that we do for our clients, and it's something that we have internally here as well. I mean, publishing for 8 years, for God's sake. But it's really important now, in a post-Penguin, post-Panda era, that stuff's really important. It's more important than ever has been before. So the top 5 for business owners that I think they should get educated in, they should do a course in, would be, number 1, keyword analysis. Number 2, Webmaster Tools with a couple of subsets within that. Number 3 is, how does the Google index see what's in the Google index with your site? What is the structure of your site as Google sees it, and does it make sense? Number 4, what is the site structure looking like? What sort of categories do you have on the site? How is your content arranged, if you like, or filed, if you want? And then the fifth and final thing, what's your editorial calendar looking like, and what are you going to be publishing into the future? And that's it. I'd love to hear what you'd like to see in an SEO course. If it's none of those things, that's fine. I just want to know. And because I'm thinking about doing workshops again, or maybe something like that. Maybe some digital products as well. But if there's something else even that you just want to see in this show, because I get questions all the time, let me know. And if it doesn't suit a course or whatever, we'll do it in the show out over time if it makes sense. And that's it for this week. We'll see you next week. Thanks very much. Bye.